This is Magnus T. Böner, and this is the first episode of what we're going to call the 12-ounce Ramble. After my 40-ounce for 40 subscribers video, I got a lot of positive feedback on that, and I felt like I was finally starting to find my voice. I just got in from the pub, where I had 2 pints. Uncle Ken, I had 2 pints, and I'm going to have 1 more beer. I know you're counting. Oh no, this is 16-ounce beer. A 16-ounce beer on the 12-ounce Ramble? Fuck. My dad was right. I can't do anything right. Tonight we're drinking Olympia beer. This Olympia beer tastes right. It tastes like beer. It tastes like yellow beer. The first thing we're gonna do on this ramble is I wanted to complete some thoughts that I failed to complete on my 40-ounce video. I'm not sure why my mind wasn't working right for that video, but let's wrap it up now. First thought I wanted to talk about was when I talked about Budweiser Budvar. What I failed to mention is that beer is imported into the United States. For copyright reasons, or trademark reasons, might be more correct, it is imported as Czechvar beer. Since Anheuser-Busch owns the right to the Budweiser brand in the United States, the real Budweiser brewery from Czech Republic, there's actually 2 of them. I also think I failed to mention that in the city of České Budějovice, there is the Budweiser Budvar brewery, and there's also a smaller brewery called the Budweiser Samson brewery. They have the historical right to that name. However, in the United States, Anheuser-Busch owns the right to the name Budweiser, so the real Budweisers cannot be imported with that name. So that's interesting. The other thing I wanted to finish thoughts on is when I was talking about beer tasting and taste panels, I talked about how there were certain flavor compounds that I'm good at tasting. It's also important to note there are flavor compounds that I'm not good at tasting. And sometimes people expect me to be some kind of master fucking taster because I mix grain with hot water for a living, but truth is I'm a human being just like all you folks. Flavors I can't taste. There's a banana ester. It's common in wheat beers, the banana ester. I believe it's called 4-vinyl glycol. Probably screwing that up. I didn't bother to look in a book before I started yapping at this camera. I love German-style Weissbier. I love it when it tastes like bananas. It's supposed to taste like bananas and cloves. However, that banana ester, I am not sensitive to that flavor at all. My former sweetie, she was extremely sensitive to that flavor. So back in the day when we were traveling abroad together, if there was a German-style Weissbier that I liked, and I liked that banana, she would do something like this as she smelled that banana ester, because it did not work for her palate. And I think that's the point I'm trying to make, is how our palates, sometimes one person is very sensitive to a flavor compound and another time another person is not sensitive to that compound. That's why we have taste panels when we taste beer. The other flavor that I have trouble tasting is acid, lactobacillus, lactic acid. Back in the day at the old brewery, we had some issues with the keg washer. What was happening with that keg washer is you had a caustic tank, that's a very high pH, and you had an acid tank, very low pH. The caustic would wash the keg. High pHs are good at breaking down proteins, lipids, and yeah, they're good at cleaning shit. Where the acid, the low pH, that's good at breaking down minerals and sanitizing. Well, rinses weren't happening properly, and pretty soon the acid would find its way to the caustic tank, and the caustic would find its way to the acid tank, and they'd neutralize each other, and pretty soon the fucking keg washer would stop doing shit. You still had the heat from the temperature of it to get some sanitization, but it was failing. And so we'd get back pallets of, I'd get like 6 pallets of pale ale, and maybe half of them would be sour. So I'd have to go through these things with a tap and try to taste the beer and determine what was sellable and what wasn't. And it got the point that I learned to rely on more my sight, looking at how turbid it was, also sticking my pH meter in it, because my ability to taste that acetic flavor was horrible. And that was hard on my ego at that time. You know, I thought I was supposed to be able to taste fucking everything, but apparently I can't, and that's not realistic. That's not a realistic expectation. Earlier today, I was looking at my YouTube analytics, and I saw that I had some Japanese fans. No shit. You guys are watching this guy ramble about nothing in Japan? That's righteous. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, comments, or just wants to tell me to go fucking off myself, do that. I want to hear it. You can email me at www.magnustböner@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. Say, hey man, I want you to talk about the da-da-da because I think you're fucking brilliant. Or say, hey dude, you're an idiot. Why don't you just jump off a fucking bridge and get off of YouTube? Or say, hey man, you're hilarious. And I like Oli beer too. This is the first episode where we're in the new studio, as you can see. I've got my books behind me. I've set up kind of a study here. This works out great because I can shoot my YouTube videos and I have books in the background. Nothing makes you appear brilliant like having books in the background. It also works out because if I need to study something, I got books behind me and a desk in front of me. Something we'll talk about is banter. I need to define this word, banter. And I'll do that in another video, but I banter a lot with my friends and my family. And I was bantering with one of my close friends today. Last week or the week before, there was a pretty lady down at the local pub. And I managed to talk that young lady out of her phone number. And, you know, and some folks, some screwed up people might think that's no big deal. You got a phone number. Well, the truth is, when a girl gives you her phone number, what she's saying is, oh yes, please send me a dick pic. Girls don't give you their phone number unless they want to see a picture of your erect penis. This is known. This is a fact, and And I'm flattered. I mean, I think my penis is beautiful. The veins on it look like a roadmap to the heavens. So, the fact that somebody wants to see my beautiful penis, I'm really flattered by that. And I'll be sure to send that young lady a dick pic really soon. And she's going to be flattered. She's probably going to just throw herself at me afterwards. I mean, why wouldn't she? That's what girls do. Girls want to see dick pics. This was a really good day today. Yesterday was not a good day. Yesterday at the brewery, we had in the folks that help us package our beer. They run a mobile packaging line. I think we were running cans. In the beer world, we have draft beer, that is in a keg, and we have packaged beer. That is either beer that's in a bottle or a can. Often small breweries will hire a separate company that comes in with a bottle filler or a can filler and one or two people, and they help you to put your beer in a package. Well, yesterday there was a new guy on the packaging line, and that's fine. That's normal. You know, person's got to learn a job for the first time, whatever. And I was pumping my wort. Wort is what we call unfermented beer, to my fermenter. There was already yeast. Yeast is, this isn't brewing fucking 101 here. Yeast ferments wort, it makes beer. There was yeast in my tank, and dude man at the packaging line, he used my water station, and on that water station is the cold water valve that sends water to my heat exchanger. That takes boiling hot wort, cools it to 66 degrees Fahrenheit, and as it's in line being pumped to the fermentation vessel. Well, this poor fella, he accidentally shut my cold water to my heat exchanger. At that point, I add some polypropylene glycol. Probably not appropriate time to explain that process, but I had polypropylene glycol that also chills my heat exchanger, so it was the only thing chilling it. Well, I finished up what I was doing on the brew deck. I was cleaning something, because that's what us brewers do, we clean shit. And I come down to check on my fermentation, my knockout or cast out temperature, and it's hot. It's north of 120 degrees. So then I've got a panel right next to there that is my temperature controllers for my tanks, and that tank is at 123 point something degrees Fahrenheit. And my days of reading brewing textbooks are long behind me, but that's fucking hot. And yeast doesn't survive at warm temperatures. And I don't remember the published temperature range in the textbook, but I knew I was probably fucked. And I got upset. And so sometimes I have trouble controlling my emotions. I'm an emotional fella. So rather than telling this individual, hey man, you just fucked up my entire day's worth of work and my production schedule for the rest of the week, I did not do that. I went into the office. I told my right-hand man, hey, this fucking retard just fucked everything up. And that was not appropriate for me to say that. However, I said it to my right-hand man. He's kind of my mental health care counselor anyway. And he came out and he helped me troubleshoot some things. And then I had to go outside. The glycol getting warm had caused our glycol chiller to have a fault. Since the glycol was doing all the chilling work, it really heated that up, and it caused the equipment to shut off, essentially. So I had my right hand man watch the brew while I troubleshot that. It was kind of a rough day. Got through it. It's part of doing God's work. When you do God's work for a living, sometimes it's going to be hard on you. You might have to sacrifice yourself. You have to sacrifice yourself to make other people happy. You know, in the brewing world, we make beer. Truth is, we drink what we can and sell the rest, but it doesn't matter what I think of the beer. I'm going to drink it for free. It matters what the assholes that pay for it think of it, because they pay my paycheck, and that's truth. Guy a lot smarter than me pointed that out. I'm going to try to do these videos for you weekly. Hopefully I've got some good content to talk to you about. Hey, if you haven't done it already, go ahead and smack that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Share me with your friends on the Facebook and the social medias. And, hey, thank you for watching.